Ah, there you go. You know, to own a Clio collection like this it's pretty special. These Clios represent, in history, the hot hatch era. Women love them. They're like, oh, they're the cutest little things. And guys are like, holy shit, the motor's in the back. What's up, man? What we got here is the 3 Clio Trophy V6s that were made from 1999 to 2005. They were originally conceived by Tom Walkinshaw Racing with Renault Sport, and they started out as a regular Clio, and they took the motor, which had a little 4-cylinder in it, and shoved a 6-cylinder in the back. So they made these cars, again, from 99 to 2005. The first phase was the Clio Trophy V6. It was a series of race cars. They made 159, 160 of them that were made primarily to support Formula One races or high-end sports car races in Europe. So in 99 and 2000, these raced for 2 years. And then Tom Walkinshaw Racing decided they were going to bring out the road car version. So they made a phase 1 version, which again is probably one of the coolest little go-karts. Got a V6 in the back, 3-liter V6, and makes like 235 horsepower, weighs a little over 2,200 pounds. Really light little car, little go-kart. The first series, they made 1,550 of them. And what happened was they were considered really great up to about 8/10. And then after that, they had amazing snap to spin around backwards and stick you in a tree. Walkinshaw Racing went back and increased the track on the phase 2. They made 1,350 phase 2s, and the track's about 2 inches wider in the back, and then they upped the horsepower. So they brought it from like 235 to about 265 horsepower. Great transmission, one of the slickest shifting little 6-speeds, and really and honestly, if you put it into perspective, like people have these car collections, high-end Ferraris to even lower-end stuff. This would be a middle collector car, but because of its rarity, it makes them so special. And as you get an opportunity to drive one of these, you'd be like, it's amazing the amount of quality you can have in a car that's worth, say, $80,000 or $90,000, as opposed to one of these new supercars, a Ferrari, SF90. I mean, you pay $800,000 for it. I guarantee you I'm having more fun in these little cars than they're having the SF90. They're just so much more lively, and it's almost like you're driving a little go-kart around town. These Clios represent, in history, basically the hot hatch era, okay? These were the hot hatches, but these are beyond that. These might even be the super hot hatches, because hot hatches were based a lot of road-based cars. Hardly any of these ever hit the road. If you remember, we're only talking about a total of about 4,000 cars total in a 6-year production range. So a lot of these are race cars, a lot are gone already. That's what makes them real special, and I think that future generations are going to motivate towards the smaller cars with big horsepower that are still attainable, number-wise, collection-wise. I mean, these aren't $350,000 cars. Your top end is call it $120,000. Your low end is probably $60,000. So these are still attainable in the collector car world. Each one came at a different time. I mean, when the very first car I got was a phase 2. That's right behind me. The phase 2 was on a Japanese auction site. And I had never ever even seen the car before, didn't even know what it was. And they had it listed on there as a Lutetia, which I found out later was just basically the name it was given for the Italian versions. So this particular blue car, the phase 2, was imported from Italy, went to Japan, and then went on an auction site. And I didn't know how many yen I was bidding, but it seemed like a lot. It was like millions of yen. But I ended up getting the car for somewhere, real reasonable number. And then we imported it in here. Of course, it's imported as a race car because we only use it on the racetrack. We don't drive it on the road, unfortunately. It's pretty cool, man. It's basically a one-off. I mean, I don't know anybody who has these in their collection, especially here in the United States. And we use them all on the racetrack. We take them constantly to the racetrack. They're spinning around in circles, and we're finding the limits of adhesion pretty much in every single corner. They're real racy little motors in them. They like to spin real high, up to like 8,000 RPMs. And of course, the trophy race car, that's got a sequential 6-speed in it. So it's just up, 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 down, 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 you know, one push. Once you get into first gear, you never use the clutch again. You just full power upshifts. Keep your foot flat and push it into a gear. It's pretty cool, you know? Apparently when this first came out, this Clio Trophy thing came out, they were wrecking these things like right, left, and in between. They made 159, and I believe that there's less than 80 cars left in the world right now, because we know of 25 or 30 that are just in parts, that we bought parts from. We got the car here, it's a full-on race car. We bought it non-running, and we figured out we can get anything running. And I gotta tell you, we're extremely lucky to be able to have got this together. The car itself had jump timing, so it didn't blow the motor out of it. Luckily, it didn't bend all the valves, but it has a pressed-on gear for the cam cover, and the gear had slipped a couple degrees, and nobody could figure out how to get this car running. And I gotta tell you, very lucky. My guy who works with me here at BOCCA Motors, Earl, he figured it out of all the specialists and anybody. Earl was able to figure it out, took the motor out, retimed it, put it back in. We dynoed the car at 304 horsepower to the rear wheels, which is just phenomenal. We went to people all over the world trying to find out where we can get parts, because the parts are almost unobtainium, almost at that point. You know what I mean? And nobody had any information. We did find some of a race manual in French, which we then used Google Translate and went through the race manual, and he was able to get this thing up and running. Amazing. You know, to own a Clio collection like this is it's pretty special. I'm feeling that you know, I've completed a phase in Renault Sport's history, and for me, it's an everyday smile whenever I come and look at it. People come in and look at their cars, right? And you know a car is really cool if you get out of it and you walk away and you spin your head around to take a look, right? Well, these cars, man, you walk backwards. You look at them all the way out of the car. You never even spin around, because they're so cool from the minute you get out of them, you know? You know, I'd like to think that, like, when I'm on my way out the door, and that could be any day, who knows, you know what I mean? But when I'm on my way out, my family will take care of these. My kids are real into the car collection, so I don't think the biggest thing is, I know they won't sell them off. I just hope they get exercised as much as they do now, because we exercise every one of these cars in here. I mean, you know, when you come into our lot, I'm either doing laps around my building, or we're out driving somewhere on a cool route with 5 or 6 or 7 of these at any one time. These are not pieces of art, they're pieces of mechanical engineering that are just dying to be used, okay? And I'm just the man for that. I mean, I feel like anything that I get into needs to be tested to the limit, and I love doing that. I love to see a Ferrari smoking sideways, you know what I mean, and burning the tires off, or if I'm in you know, one of these Clios spinning around in circles, we take them to the track, man. We rip these around. We'll have 3 Clios chasing nose to tail at 140 miles an hour, 130 miles an hour, and you know, no problem. A lot of fun. In opportunity to get a chance to drive some of the coolest cars in the world, I've driven so many amazing things. These fit up on a list of cars for me. The Clio ranks within the top 5 cars, which is amazing if you think I've driven 250 to 300 supercars, exotic cars, and things like that. This is in the top 5, man. That's how cool it is. You know?